Yo, what is up, everybody? We're back with another part to the What If Naruto Had Thor's Power series. Last time we left off with Naruto getting struck by lightning and obtaining Thor's powers. Now, before we get into this video, I would ask if you guys could comment your favorite Naruto character in the comment section below. That would actually promote the video so more people will see it. So without further ado, let's get into this part.
Ay, thinking as I count these fucking days. Ay, tell me if I'm looking better. Just the other night I was playing.
Now, Naruto, he is intrigued by his powers and has been training in a very indifferent way. He's been going out into the forest, clearing out trees, so that he doesn't, start a wildfire. After all, that would kind of be counterproductive for his just training, since he would have to put it out himself. Now, he's been trying to harness the power as much as he can. He's able to use it quite well, but he does realize it has quite the fatigue afterwards. He falls straight to his knees and he needs to get used to it. After all, he doesn't know how to activate it fully. But Ino's been seeing him doing this. After all, everyone's been keeping their distance, even the ladies who saved him. Now, their motherly instinct took over, but it doesn't mean they quite trust him. After all, he just obtained some superpower and they're kind of still hesitant after all. Now, Ino sees his determination. Every day he wakes up around 4:30, going out there and training all day long, no matter what. He doesn't even come to academy classes anymore. He's only trying to harness that power, and she honestly is quite moved by it. She realizes Sasuke is kind of a little boring, and he doesn't really do anything, and she doesn't really like him for being Sasuke. She just likes him because everyone else likes him. She starts to follow Naruto, and she sees what would be Naruto training intensely. See, he's not just training his, of course, lightning abilities. He's trying to strengthen his body so that it doesn't have as much fatigue. It doesn't have physical fatigue as mental fatigue. That's the difference. So he's strengthening his mind too by trying to harden it by practicing the drills over and over until he completely knows he can do it. It's a mental blockage that he's put up for himself. Now, she packed a lunch for Naruto as she hears his stomach growl. She walks out with a little laugh. She's like, "Hey, you seem a little hungry." Naruto is a little startled, so he jumps back. Now, the lightning sends him flying back with so much electricity it actually breaks the tree behind him. He ends up arching himself. He's like, "Ow." She's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Wow, you're just a mess, aren't you?" He's like, "What are you doing here, She's like, "Well, you didn't come to class. You haven't been to class in like the past month. We're about to graduate, you know that, right?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I know that, but I've been trying to harness this power, so that's really all I've been looking for." She's like, "Well, I made you lunch." And Naruto's like, "Really? You didn't have to do that." She's like, "I know I didn't have to, silly. I just wanted to, so now eat it already, damn it." He's like, fine, chill. So he, of course, eats it, and he's like, "Well, I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna go take a nap." So as he goes to take a nap, he's just, he's sleeping there, and she's like, "Well, the ground looks a little uncomfortable." So, she's gonna, of course, sit her legs down and kind of put his head on top of her lap. Naruto wakes up and immediately freaks out. He's like, "Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing?" She's like, "What? You shouldn't put your head down on the ground. It's not acceptable. After all, I'm willing to be your pillow. My lap is your pillow." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, I've got to get back to training." She's like, "Okay, well, I'll just watch you for a while, and then I'll end up going back home." He's like, "All right, whatever." See, Naruto is, of course, dense as hell. Like, yeah, until he meets Jiraiya, he might be dense as hell. Who knows? I haven't decided. So Naruto's going to end up, continuing on with his training continuously. It goes on for about another 10 days. And, of course, she's going to continue on coming towards him. Of course, Ino is. Ino's going to continuously come after Naruto, trying to win his affection. She starts off just friendly, but she soon grows to like Naruto. Seeing his shy personality, she never knew Naruto would have this. After all, he was once a prankster and someone she saw as annoying, but seeing his determination and just seeing his utter intelligence improving. Now, why is his intelligence improving? Well, that's simply because his mind is being sharpened by her. She's having conversations and teaching him things. Naruto never really had anyone to hang out with, so he never really increased his intelligence too much when it came down to that. One day, he is trying to harness full power. He says, "You might want to back up, By back up, I mean quite a while. Or quite a bit." She's like, "Alright." They back up, or she backs up, and then he tries to harness his full power of what he thinks is his full power. As it goes down, it causes the entire clearing to just be encased in lightning. Such a big storm that any tree right there is just incinerated. It wasn't set on fire because it was so strong it just incinerated it. And suddenly the big Bifrost mark appears. Now her and Naruto are of course transported to what would be Asgard. See, Asgard is of course, the realm of Thor and all that, where Odin lies and Thor himself would lie. As they look around, they see they have been summoned here. He looks to see a man sitting on a throne with an eye patch, an old man. He says, where are we? And then Odin, of course, speaks up. Ah, so you're the one who obtained the powers, boy. Well, this is quite interesting. You see, my son has passed on. Your son? Do I know you? He's like, no. You see, the reason you obtained those powers was my son was passing on. He died. The reason he died was a selfish reason that I won't get into. But he decided before he would die, he would give his powers along to someone else. You happen to be struck that many times and survive, so you obtain the powers. It's quite a simple thing, and you're quite resilient, clearly. Naruto's like, thanks, I guess? Ino's like, huh? So the abilities Naruto obtained are from someone else. Huh. Interesting. He's like, well, since you're here, the reason is, we have quite the present for you. It's to see if you're worthy to hold the hammer. If you are unworthy to hold the hammer, I will strip the powers away from you. Naruto's like, wait, what? I just obtained these, you're kidding, right? He's like, no. Do I look like I'm kidding? He feels a chill down his spine. He's like, I guess, but you'll send me back either way, right? He's like, of course. But if you aren't worthy enough, I'll of course wipe your memories. Naruto's like, what? That's not fair. Boy, life is not fair. Naruto's like, damn it. He's like, well, I'm more than worthy enough. I know it. After all, there's no way I can't be worthy enough. I'm like kind-hearted as hell. Just kind of smirks at him. She's like, yeah, you're for sure worthy, my guy. So it turns into what would be them going towards what would be the location of the hammer. Naruto walks towards it, beginning to try to pick it up. As he puts his hand on it, and then his other hand, and begins pulling up, suddenly the entire room is just filled with a dark aura. A power surging so immense it sends everyone flying into the walls, including Odin himself. Naruto's electrocuting his body, and not just a blue lightning, it's a red lightning, a black lightning. His eyes are changing color to what would be blue, and he just doesn't have control right now, and then suddenly, he pulls the hammer up. Now Odin is completely surprised. He's like, what? There's no way. Honestly, from that you weren't worthy. But you picked up the hammer nonetheless. You corrupted the hammer. How did you do that? With such power, I can't take the power away from you. There's no way I could. You picked up the hammer even though you aren't worthy. You corrupted its entire system. You literally have changed the entire hammer's outlook on life. The once proud hammer is now coated in red lightning. So while Naruto's body is, a normal lightning, a blue lightning, his hammer is coated in black and red lightning, so it's complete darkness. Now the reason it was corrupted is due to Ninetales. Naruto kind of figures this. He's like, oh, well, it's probably the Ninetales inside of me. But he doesn't mention it. Now, sees this. She's like, what the fuck? Yo, oh my, dude, that's crazy. She's like, Naruto, how did you do that? What's going on? I don't really understand any of this. Naruto's like, you think I understand? I don't understand either. We just came here and I got a hammer. That's fucking awesome. Just think about it. She's like, well, that's kind of true. So it's going to lead towards them being transported back. As they go back onto the Bifrost, Odin says, well, boy, I don't know how you picked it up or how you corrupted the hammer's mindset, but I will say you deserve the hammer after that. So please stay out of trouble. After all, I won't be interfering to save you. Naruto's like, alright, whatever. Have a good life. He ends up being transported back to what would be, his world. Along with, and they look around and it's nighttime now. It was early afternoon earlier. So it looks like time passes the same way, huh? She's like, yeah, I guess. So, you wanna go get something to eat, Naruto? Well, sure, So they end up going towards what would be the ramen shop. Now Naruto's like, hey, so we're gonna get ramen, right? She's like, I don't really feel like getting ramen tonight. How about you just come over to my house? I'm sure my family's already made dinner. Naruto's like, are you sure? I don't know if your family would approve. Oh no, trust me, my dad likes you. What, he does? Yeah, he's always respected you, especially after the whole incident. He was kind of the one who did the research into your brain. He was like, what? Looked into my brain? Yeah, that's how we knew you were kind-hearted. After all, my dad said he would never let me date someone like, evil. Like, date? What are you talking about? She's like, oh, no, nothing. So it turns into what would be, them going towards your house. He ends up greeting inside, and he's like, hello, and he bows his head. He's like, hello, Ino's father. I don't know his name, I'm not gonna lie. I'll figure it out in the next part. But they end up just eating, and he actually feels at home for once. As he ends up leaving, she's like, I'll walk you home. And Archie's like, no, a pretty girl like you shouldn't be walking anyone home. She blushes. And he's like, well, I'll be going now. Thanks for having me over. This is actually a lot of fun. She's like, thanks. Are you going to be training tomorrow? He's like, I think I'll be going to class tomorrow. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah, but I'll be training after school. So if you want to come with me after school, I'd be fine with that. She's like, for sure. And that's where I'm going to leave it off. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Road to 10K. Again, thank you guys for watching.